Yeah. Sean, what's up?
Stigmatism, man, what's up? Do anything.
Okay. What is it, man?
Stigmatism in my soul.
Okay. You got it, man?
Do anything.
Anything?
Anything.
You sure?
Put your mind to it. Do anything.
But what if it's hard, though, man?
If it's hard, it's gonna be hard. If it's easy, it's gonna be easy. It's all about what you think.
Okay, I can dig that. I love you, Sean.
Me too.
Stigmatism in my soul, man. Window cleaner with soul. You see it, you hear it.
Dopest channel.
Dopest channel on YouTube. Test. Channel on YouTube. Test.
You hear it.
Test. Thanks for coming to the channel, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to all the subscribers.
Shout out to all the subscribers, man.
Peace.
Peace out. Yo, what's up, man? What's going on, y'all? Sean G, live on the mic. We in here Thursday afternoon, July the 29th, 2021, 5:33 in the PM on the East Coast, man. I got both channels going at the same time. Thank you for subscribing to the Podcast with Soul. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Welcome to the Podcast with Soul. Welcome everybody over here to my Sean G page. Hit that like button, man. There's 9 of y'all in it. Hit that like button. Everybody, please hit the like button. Who I got to give a shout out to, man? Shout out to who bought a shirt? Somebody bought a shirt, man. D-Block. Shout out to my man Joshua, man, out there up in Rochester. He bought a shirt the other day. I didn't shout him out the other day. Who else we got to shout out? Always shout out my man Johnny Farrelly up in Yonkers. He's a big-time supporter. Jeremy Jacobs, Bruce Davis. I want to appreciate everybody for supporting, man. Buying the shirts, buying the books, buying the hats. Want to apologize to the city of Chicago, man. I can't make the trip. I won't be there tomorrow in Harrison Park. I won't be able to make it. As you can see, Chicago, man. I can't make the I will Little Sean's got a baseball game. It's a championship game. He's pitching. I couldn't get anybody to take him. So I got to stay here and I got to take him to the game, and Chicago can wait. You know, you only get one chance to see your son pitching a championship game in Little League as a 10-year-old, so we're going to do that tomorrow. Yo, I got a dope show coming up. Lee Cullivan in the building. I see you. Aiden Miller staying here. If it's hard, it's going to be hard. What was said, Lil Sean is just like his daddy. Love to see it. Thank everybody, man, for the support and for the love. Subscribers are going. We up to 1,360. Appreciate you. Please hit that like button when you come in. You hit the like button, YouTube will send out more notifications. Hit that like button over here. Everybody over here on the big page, man, come over to the Podcast with Soul. This way you'll be able to get involved with the Podcast Soul experience, man.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
Everybody that's over here on the big page, man, I put a link up there. I don't know. The link is not letting me pin it up there. Let me try it one more time. Let me put y'all on a brief hold. Just sit back and chill for a minute, man. Stay right here. We going live. I got my nigga Black. I'm bringing him on, man. We're going to talk about starting over from scratch, man. And I got my man Black. He's standing by. I'm going to be calling him probably about 10 more minutes, less than 10 minutes. And National Weather Service is hitting us with a joint. I'm going to be bringing him on, man, and we're going to talk about starting over from scratch, man, and, all that comes with that. Hold on one second, y'all. Sit tight. Got back right on time. Welcome to the podcast with Soul. Nigga got the dope hat on, the dope shirt. You see it. Let me move back so y'all can get a good look. So y'all can get a good goddamn look so y'all can see what it looked like. You can get this on GunbyPublishing.BigCartel.com. Both of my books are over there. I wrote on Volume 3 today. Volume 3 is almost done. Volume 1 and Volume 2 is on my website, GunbyPublishing.BigCartel.com. You could also find the ebook on Amazon. You could get the book on Amazon. But if you want to get your book signed, if you buy it off my site, I'll sign it for you and I'll mail it to you anywhere in the world. T-shirts, hats, all of that. Starting over from scratch, man. You know, sometimes in our lives, this is what we have to do. Several times in my life, after getting clean from a drug addiction, from 12 years old up until the age of 21, got clean at 21 and had to start all over. You know, blew up trading accounts. You know, y'all know I'm an options trader. Stock trader. I blew up accounts, had no money, had to re-up, had to start all over from scratch. Lost $1 million net worth, went to federal prison at the age of 45, got out with $1,900 and had to start all over from scratch. And, you know, these are the realities of life. And maybe your story isn't the same as mine. Maybe yours is a divorce, a medical issue, a car accident, surviving cancer, incarceration, bankruptcy. I've done the bankruptcy thing. Shout out to Sean G. Filed my own bankruptcy, got my bankruptcy discharge, Chapter 13. Shout out to my lawyer, Avram White in Orange, New Jersey, man. He helped me out. I filled out all the paperwork. I gave it to him so he could file it electronically. Started all over, had to do a bankruptcy, $934,000 bankruptcy, man. Got discharged a little over a year ago. Credit cards are coming back in and, rebuilding my financial life. And, a lot of you guys, you DM me, you talk about your drug addiction, you're talking about your alcoholism, you're talking about mental health issues. Mental health issues are rampant in society, especially in America, but around the world. All creeds, colors, religions, nationalities, socioeconomic backgrounds, mental health knows no boundaries. It has no discrimination on who it impacts, man. So, we move from one city to another city. We move from one part of the country to another part. We have to start all over again from scratch. We were in a long-term relationship with a significant other, a female. If you're a female, you're in a long relationship with a male. Marriage, it went down the drain. Shit is fucked up. We got to start all over from scratch. So, I'm gonna get my nigga Black on the phone, man. This is a dude that I met. Well, let me get him on the phone. Let me just say, and then we'll go through that when I get him on the phone. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll get into what we're gonna get down on. Let me see if I can get him on. Let me see if he pick up. Let me make sure I got this on.
Hello.
Yo, Black.
Yeah.
Shout out to my nigga Black. Black, you on here good? You I need you gotta turn down. Yo, Kev.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta, what is that right there?
That's the other line,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you gotta turn that down because I'm hearing that, I'm getting feedback from that.
Okay.
That I would tell that that I know for a fact that I got clean.
Okay.
And you gotta turn
that?
that's good. And you gotta turn the volume down on the YouTube joint because I'm getting feedback from that too. Put it on mute.
All right.
All right, we good?
We good.
All right. Hey, y'all, this is a brother, man. Well, Kev, listen, man, why don't you the topic for tonight, man, is starting over from scratch. I didn't want to introduce you without you being on the phone. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and before we get into it?
All right, brother. Well, ain't no shame in the game. We met in prison a few years back.
What prison was that, Black?
We was in Morgantown, West Virginia, man.
Okay.
And I was toward the end of a long stretch, and you were at the beginning of a little winehead time, as we say.
Shout out to Sean G. Shout out to Sean G for the winehead time, man.
And there it was, man. And we both in the same age bracket. Unfortunately, I've spent all total 22 years of my life behind bars. So starting out over, the topic we venturing into today, starting out over.
Starting over from scratch.
From scratch, definitely. Starting from scratch is something that I can definitely relate to.
Now, Black, let me ask you this. Where you from, man?
I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, brother.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay. And you did how much on your last bid? You did 17 on the last
17 years. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Black, let me ask you a question, man. What were you in prison for?
Drug trafficking.
Okay.
Yeah. I was to me, it was a typical run-of-the-mill, cross-country drug conspiracy, bringing drugs from source states like California and Texas into the interior of the country, Midwest states, Illinois, Missouri. Your basic drug conspiracy.
Okay. Now, how old are you, Kev?
I'm 56.
56. Okay. How old were you when you caught your case?
When I caught this case, I was 38 years old and remained in prison for the next 17.
Okay, so you spent your whole 40s in the joint.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, Kev, tonight, man, we talking about starting over from scratch, man, and you know my story, and I know your story, and what are some of the challenges, man, that how many prisons were you in during the 17 years? How many compounds were you on?
3. Just 3.
Okay.
Not counting the county facility.
Okay. Now, what have been, during your drug trafficking days, you were dealing with a lot of money. I'm right.
Yeah.
Oh, like money was never an issue in that life.
No, never was.
Okay. Now, getting out of prison, and when you got out in 2020 or 2019?
2020 is July 24th was my 1-year anniversary, just a few days ago.
Okay. Shout out to Black, man. Shout out to Kev, man. Welcome home, man. Now, Black, spending 17 years in the joint, man, right? And then going to R&D, and your story about while you're doing the merry-go-round to go home, and the information and the news that you get while you're on the merry-go-round just added a whole nother dynamic to your release, man. Do you mind talking about that part?
Yeah, for those that might not know, merry-go-round is the happiest day in a prisoner's existence. It's the day before you get released. You got to go around to the various departments and have them sign off that you don't have anything holding you back from leaving. You go to the laundry, you go to R&D, you go to rec, education, etc., medical. Just have everybody sign off on you. So as I'm making my joyous rounds, my name is called over the PA system, and I'm to come immediately back to the unit, to the counselor's office. And I'm thinking, oh man, it's some mishap with the paperwork. They're gonna tell me that my sentence was miscalculated or some bureaucratic nonsense. And I was preparing myself for that as I walked back. But when I get there, I couldn't have got worse news. And, the news that I got was that my son had been killed. He had been stabbed to death. And to go from the highest high to the lowest imaginable low in a matter of 60 seconds, it was very difficult. So the next morning when I wake up to leave, I'm just numb. I don't know how to feel. On the one hand, I'm definitely grateful to be leaving with my both my mental and physical health intact. But at the same time, I'm just devastated about losing my son. So it was like I couldn't even enjoy it, this new freedom. The first thing I have to do upon my release is to bury my son. So
Now, Black, you and your son had been in contact throughout your bid?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
how old was he?
He was 22 years old, man. 22 years old. He was 6 years old. We were together. We stayed together from his birth until I get jammed up. He was 6 years old, and he was 22, going on 23 by the time when he passed. And we were just very much looking forward to reuniting. You know, we talked about it quite a bit, and we just looking forward to it, man. I was, you know, he was struggling without me there for guidance and example, and you know, I was looking forward to us making it together, you know, coming up together the right way. So, you know, as I'm going through that merry-go-round, you know, I'm thinking I did it. I won, you know. It seemed to be, when I got locked up, it seemed to be the government's position that they really didn't want to see me free again. But, you know, going on that merry-go-round, the feeling was I won.
Right.
And when I got that news, the feeling was, no, you didn't. There's all types of punishment in this world. And no, you didn't win. So, but, you know, so I literally had to start over from scratch without my son.
Yo, man, I can't. Yo, when you told me that, man, when you told me that, man, that.
And let me say this, man. Shout out to you, brother. Because when I told you that, and I said that, you know, Sean, I need a few dollars, and you sent me a few dollars, and, you know, I was able to get a suit for my son to be buried in, man. Man.
Well, man,
thank you for that.
Man, you got that, man. Shout out to my nigga Black, man. Black, let me, you know, you were, when I met you, I think I was like 3 months. When you came to Morgantown in December of 14? Or
December 14, yeah.
Right. You came December 14. And I remember Brett, whatever his name was, he was doing a class on trading or something. And I want to get into your trading. You do futures trading, you do options trading, you do stock trading. And I remember when I met you, and you know, I stayed out of prison. They investigated me for 3.5 years, and I delayed going to prison, you know, trying to get some probation or trying to get some home confinement. But ultimately, I didn't do it. They wanted me to cooperate, and I wouldn't do it. So I ended up going. And I'm glad I went when I went, because I got to meet you. Because when you came and when I met you and you told me that you were a trader, that you were a futures trader, and that you were actually trading from inside a federal prison, it was, you know, it was what I needed. It was what I needed to see. You were someone that I needed to meet. So I was there at the right time, man. And, you know, all of the talks that we had, the hours of talks and shit, man, it really, really got me ready and strengthened me for my release, you know. So, you know, you've had a tremendous impact on me, and I've told you that since you got out, man. But yeah, man. So, you know, you come out, you know, you bury your dude, and at the same time, you got to psychologically adjust to having been away for 17 years, right? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Exactly. Prison is pretty predictable, okay? Things go real slow. You know what you're going to be doing from day to day. You know exactly what time you're going to be doing it. You know exactly what time you're going to eat, sleep. You know exactly what time you're going to work out, you know.
When you go to commissary, when you're going to
go to commissary, all of those things are known and just so regimented that it's slow. You rarely get anything out of the ordinary happening. I mean, so it's very predictable. You know, it's 99% dull, and 1% of the time it's more action than you want to be around. You know, so when you come out to the real world, things move at lightning speed to you. And having been gone for so long, oh man, it was really moving at lightning speed. And just the changes in terms of the communication, smartphone. I had never used a smartphone, never seen a smartphone in person.
What was the last phone you had used?
The last phone I had used, the big thing was the Nextel with the chirp.
Right.
That was the last joint I had, man.
Right.
And now you get out here and the phone is a computer basically. And it was like the payment methods, I couldn't even figure out how to pump gas. My woman picks me up and we stop at the gas station, and of course I'm gonna get out and pump the gas and all this. I can't even make the thing work. She hands me a card. I'm at a total loss, man. And at times it was even a little embarrassing.
Mm.
I go into Home Depot and they have the self-service deals, and the woman is looking at me like, you don't know what to do. What's wrong with you? And, it's just a series of those incidents, man, until you get acclimated and start being able to navigate better. But things move really fast out in the world.
Now, Black, you're a trader, right?
Yes, I am.
Could you talk about your trading, how you got introduced to trading, how you traded, when you started trading, how you traded in prison, and what you traded, and all of that stuff for us?
I got into trading. I saw a bulletin, something on the bulletin board. If you would like to learn about the markets, there's a class, and we're always encouraged to take classes, any type of classes.
For programming.
You remember that?
Right.
Yeah, programming they call it. So I'm gonna check it out. And the guy that was doing it, I was in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
And the guy that was running it, it was inmate. This was an inmate-led program, and he had been a successful trader before he did some criminal stuff, and with his taxes and whatnot. and end up landing in prison. And he taught the class, and it was just a basic class. And he was honest, like, man, the little stuff I'm going to share with you guys in these few weeks, you know, you're not going to be ready to trade after this, so don't even try it, you know.
Right.
It's about 20 or 30 books you need to read, and, you know, a lot more self-study and practice that you need to put in before you should even think about this. So that's what I did. And I stuck with the futures market, and I had a small degree of success while I was incarcerated with it. And
Now, Kev, you say you trade futures. What futures do you trade?
I trade currency futures as well as gold, as well as grains.
What currencies? What currencies do you trade?
Euro, British pound, Canadian, and Australian dollar.
And then what about the commodities?
Commodities, I trade gold and the grain markets, corn, wheat, and soybeans. And the reason I chose that lane was basically because you could look in the paper, in the Wall Street Journal or the IBD, and get the results from all of those markets. And by results, I'm meaning open, high, low, and close. And, you know, it was impossible to do that with stocks. I mean, you could look in the paper and they would have the closing prices only for certain stocks.
Mm-hmm.
But there would be no open, high, low, as well as close. So you couldn't really, I mean, you couldn't really chart. Okay. And charting is the key to technical analysis. So I needed to learn on some things that I could chart, and so that's why I ended up going that route. And to this day, I've just basically stuck with it, and you know, it's working out. I tell you what, you know, when you're incarcerated and you say, man, all I need is some freedom, and bam, everything's going to just magically fall in place for me. You are thinking about things in terms of the way you had it before you left, and you're not being totally honest with yourself. In some of the programming, they call that super optimistic, you know?
Okay.
And there is that. But once you get out, all the weight of the world comes crashing down. You have responsibilities. You're going to now have bills to pay like everyone else. And no one cares what type of disadvantage you've been at, you know. A lot of people care that you have been in prison in terms of disqualifying you from certain opportunities, certain job opportunities, certain housing opportunities and whatnot. But the one group that does not care is the bill collector. He doesn't care that you have been disadvantaged. He needs his money every month. So
now, Black, check it out. Now, you talked about charting, right? Now, how were you charting?
Just paper, man, paper and pen and paper. I could get graph paper, and as you know, we could make copies and color ink pens. You know, black, red, green, blue, and you made your charts from there. You
by hand.
By hand, and with a commissary calculator, $5 commissary calculator.
All right, so you learn to trade currency futures and commodity futures in prison. You're doing your charting by hand, and then you're also live trading.
Yes.
How'd you do that?
I had people outside family that I could call at the end of the trading day, and I could get the open, high, low, and close for each of my markets for that day. And I would quickly update my charts and make my trading decision based on what I was seeing on those charts. And I would call and relay that to the family member that was handling my account, and there it would be, And I was trading mostly mini contracts back then, and it was just to learn and hopefully try not to lose my shirt and possibly make a little money. And that's what happened. I didn't explode and get rich doing that, but I was able to learn a lot, and I was able to make a little.
So you were able to come up with a system of your trade. You have a trading system you trade with?
Yeah, I have a trading system that I trade with. It's always going to be a work in progress because the markets are always changing. But the basics of the system pretty much stays the same, but you might have to tweak it here and there. And I got favorite authors that I've read and patterned some of my stuff after what they've done. I'm not, gonna try to make like I invented the system that I have, because I just read books and, took a little from this person and a little from that person and came up with something that I was comfortable with that worked for me.
Right, man. Yeah, I remember, man, how when we were, me and Black we worked down in the education department, man, and we would go down there and you would be teaching dudes how to trade, and motherfuckers used to come to you for information and how to do this and how to do that. And I remember when we used to come back from mainline at lunch, we would come back and the one TV would be on CNBC. We would be looking at the different prices and shit and go back down. And that shit, I really enjoyed that, man. Aside from being in prison, that was one of the things I enjoyed, man. And I paper traded and fucking around with you in there. Now, Black, so now you get out. Do you go straight home or do you go to a halfway house or what?
Halfway house for a little bit, then house arrest for a little bit, and then finally free. I guess I'm free. I still have 10 years supervised release, so, but that's about as free as it's gonna get for me for right now.
Okay. So then now do you get a job when you get out, or what's going on?
Okay, I tried to get a job.
Hey, Black, hold on one second. We got somebody wants to know what were the names of the investing books he found most helpful. JC3 Teacher wants to know.
My favorite authors, a chick named Carly Garner. She's one of my favorites.
Carly Garner.
And an old school guy named Joe Ross.
You remember the names of the books?
Sure. Carly Garner, she had a commodities trading guide. She had a commodities option book. I can't recall the titles right off. Probably never did. Macmillan on options. Macmillan, you know, that book is like the options Bible.
Yeah, I read that book. That was the book you gave me to read in there, right?
Yeah, that big, thick green book.
Yeah, I got one. I bought one since I came home.
Yeah, he was great. Whatever you want to know about options is in there.
Now, Kev, what was your success rate of your trading from inside the joint? Did you use tight stops? Did you let positions run wild? I mean, how did you do it from a phone, man?
I had to put in my trades. I had to put my stops in and targets in if there was going to be a target. I had to put both of those in all at the same time. I had one shot at it, and I could tell my family member, hey, buy this most of the time on a limit at this price, and this is my stop. Okay, and that's what I had to do.
And then your family member will call into the broker and put the trade in for you. They
would do it online most of the time.
Okay, and then what was your win-loss ratio?
You know, at that time, I was about 2 out of every 3 trades.
Were winners?
I was about 2 out of every 3 were winners. Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody telling you they hit 95% of the time and all this, nah, I can't see it. You know, if you're right 60% of the time, you're doing great, and you can be profitable with that if you put on the proper risk management. And that's how it is. I've since the book that Carly Garner has was really enlightening in terms of she showed me how to use options along with the futures plays to really mitigate risk. Not wanting to get too far in the weeds of the terminology, but, you know, in option there's something called delta, and the delta of the option at the money option is going to be around 50%. The delta of the underlying instrument is always going to be 1. It's always going to move dollar for dollar with the price of that instrument, but the options only move half that much. So
at the money.
Yeah, at the money. So when you put on a trade and basically selling covered calls, selling covered puts, and you're just taking advantage of the differences in the delta, it gives you an opportunity to be wrong and not lose money. And,
right.
You know,
but Black, check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you back on another show when we're gonna we'll get into all of that. So now you get out, you do 17 years, you go to R&D, you get home, you're in the halfway house, you try to get you get a job or no?
Yeah, I tried. I went to everybody has to have a job, so I went to truck driving school for like 5 weeks and got a CDL.
I remember that.
And I must be the only one who went out and immediately got a CDL and could not get a truck driving job. When the people would find out, the problem was my driver's license had been expired for almost 17 years.
Right.
You know, my license expired shortly after I got locked up. So when they went to look for my license, I was temporarily hired 2 times, right?
Right.
But when they would look for my license, because when you get a CDL and they get ready to hire you, your name is run through a nationwide database, and to check your driving record.
Right.
And, you know, when my name is run through there, it comes back. I haven't had a valid driver's license in so long. And they started to question me as to, man, why haven't you had a driver's license? It's been almost 2 decades. What's going on?
Right.
And okay, then I have to come clean. Like, yeah, well, you know, I've been in prison. I was in prison, and you know, then it comes down to, oh man, well, we can't hire you because you haven't had a license in so long. I'm like, well, I got a CDL right now. I just completed the course and passed the test. What's the problem? So, you know, I went through that, and that stopped me from getting a truck driving job, actually. So I decided to do my own thing and start my own business, being an entrepreneur at heart. And I was able to get away with doing that in terms of the government, in terms of my PO and all that. That was very acceptable to them. They just want to see you doing something positive, so they feel like you won't go back to doing the negative. You know, so that was cool with them. So
let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this: why didn't you go back to the streets, man? They was out there. It's still, you know, the shit is still live out there. This nigga's still getting money out there. Why you didn't go back? It's right there.
Well, you know, you get older, and hopefully you get wiser, and I think that's what happened, and it comes down to basic change in philosophy. You know, I'm real libertarian. I think people adults ought to make the decision on the way they want to live their life and what they want to consume and everything like that. And I still feel that way. But at the same time, we all know consuming drugs, particularly hard drugs, cocaine, opiates, you know, that's a bad choice for 95% of the people who are going to try that. That turns out to be a bad choice. You know, I haven't met anyone yet that says that, man, I'm so glad I tried cocaine. I'm so glad I tried heroin. You know, it's always the opposite. Man, I wish I never would have saw that shit, you know? So if you want to be a good person, then you really have no business helping people to make a bad choice, you know, even though it's their right to make a bad choice. You know, it's their right to ingest whatever they want to ingest. You know, it's their right to do that. But going in knowing that it's a bad choice, now I don't want to be involved in that. Ironically, you know, with a drug like marijuana, okay, that was part of my case. Marijuana and cocaine were both parts of my cases. But I find it ironic that, you know, now I'm out and I see politicians becoming involved in the marijuana business, you know. Same politicians who were eager to sign draconian legislation to lock people up for 20 and 30 years or better, you know, now it's cool. You know, marijuana is cool. But, you know, that's just an irony that the world has thrown on us, man.
So Black, so now you starting over. So you started your own business. You still got your own business?
Yeah, I still got my own business. I do. I got in addition to the trading, I got a small dumpster rental and junk removal business that I'm doing with varying degrees of success. It seems like it's feast or famine for me with that business.
Right.
On some days, I can't keep up with the jobs that I get, and then on other days it's very slow. But I've been at that for about 10 months now, and it's going okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I know a lot of the background story with everything that's going on with the business, man. But to see you have gone through what you've gone through, what is it about you why didn't you just quit and give up, man? I mean, why keep going, man? I mean, you do these 17 years. How long was your sentence that you got convicted? How many months they gave you off the rip?
I got 22 years off the bat, and when they changed the law, I was scheduled to get a 5-year reduction.
Right.
But the government came back and said, well, we can't give you a 5-year reduction because you have a 20-year mandatory minimum. In your case, it's 20 years, so that's all we can reduce you to. So they reduced me basically from 22 years to 20 years, and as you know, you got to do 85% of that, so that's how I end up doing the 17.
And then you come home, your son gets murdered the day you're going on merry-go-round, the day before you leave in prison, and you come home, and why didn't you just quit and give up, man, and just say, fuck it, man?
Man, that's just not in me, man. The old saying, ain't gonna be no let up on my setup. And, that's just the attitude that was bred into me, My pops, whatever happened, good or bad, he would say, man, spit in your hand and get a new grip. Don't let go. That's kind of what I live by.
Spin your hand, get a new grip, don't let go. Shout out to Kev's pops, man. Spin your hand, get a new grip, don't let go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what he told me constantly, right?
And Black. So the streets was a no-go from you from the start. That was a non-starter.
The streets was a non-starter for me,
But listen, all these rappers talk about the streets, though, man. They talk about how dope it is out there, man.
Well, they talk about it, and fortunately, that's all most of them do, is talk about it, and there's too much glorification of it and too little understanding of it. The fact of the matter is, man, the streets are in our communities an opportunity, okay, and that's keeping it 100.
Okay,
the streets are an opportunity. For most of us, it turns out to be a pretty bad opportunity, but it's an opportunity nonetheless. I mean, if you were raised in a leafy $500,000 house subdivision, street corner drug selling would not even be exposed to you, so you wouldn't even interpret it as an opportunity, whereas when you're raised in inner city environments, whether you want to be down with it or not, you see that opportunity. You know, it's presented to you. You know, the game has a flashing help wanted sign constantly. You know, be your own boss. High risk, high reward opportunity for you right here. You know, you can go from having nothing on Monday to the end. You know, by Friday you could have a few grand in your pocket, or you could be dead.
So
you know?
so Black, that was a non-starter for you when you got out, man. That was a no-go.
That was absolutely a no-go. But let me say this also. You and everybody struggles with the knowledge that you bring into yourself, okay? I have the knowledge of the game, you know? So, and then being involved for so long, you meet people and if your reputation stays intact, you know, it's always a place for a dude who went and did his time and stood on it and didn't fuck over nobody, kept his mouth shut, and is looked upon as a stand-up dude, you know? It's always a place for that type of fellow. And you're going to get invitations and you're going to have to struggle with your own knowledge that, man, I don't have anything today, you know, but I'm a phone call away from, you know, 50, 60 bands at least, you know, in a matter of a few days. So you have to be guarded and struggle with that knowledge, and you can't overlook that it's going to be a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle, you know. And a friend of mine, he likes to say, you know, that he's just the right deal away from getting back in the game. You know, I'm just the right deal away from it, you know? So, and a lot of people feel that way. You know, if the right opportunity, the right deal came along for them, they would jump right back in. And I've often thought about, well, what's the right deal for me? What would have to happen for me to cross that bridge again? And I don't know what it is that would have to happen, but thank goodness it has not happened, and I'm guarding against it.
Right. Yo, Kev, man, dope story, man. You know, you my nigga, man, and you know I love you, man, and I know it's just a matter of time. You know, and we have to look at that we're already successes, even though, you know, I don't have my million and change back and you don't have, you know, your money that you had stacked up back, that nonetheless, we still are successes right now where we stand and where we breathe because, you know,
we standing on our own, man. And, ain't got it like I once had it and ain't got it like I'm gonna get it. But we're standing on our own. We're in no danger of missing a meal or a bill. So you gotta be content with that. And you know, I'm content every morning that I get up and I have something positive to do, you know. I get up and I'm checking my charts first thing in the morning and I'm getting out and I'm renting dumpsters, and you know, as long as I have something positive that I'm getting up for, I'm all right.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yo, Black, what about some of the what about the physical fitness game? What was the physical fitness game like?
Oh, you know, Shiny Shine, it was all gravy, right? Now I gotta admit, man, you know, when I came home, I was 170 pounds, 6-pack, you know, I'm jumping up on that pull-up bar, sets of 20, 25, strict form, no problem. You know, I could bust you out 100 straight push-ups. You know, we used to get it in, man.
Yeah.
But at this point now, I've fallen off. I've gained about 20, damn near 25 pounds, but I'm still in better shape than 90% of my contemporaries out here, man. When you get out here, I get out here and I have a brother that asked to work with me one day, right? And I'm like, okay, sure, come on, man. I can use a hand.
How old was he?
We were around the same age, right?
Okay.
And mid-50s. And we go to do a job, man, and what did we have to lift? We had to lift a desk. It was a really heavy oak desk, and we had to bring it out of the house. And man, when I tell you this brother, I thought this brother was going to have a heart attack on me, man. I said, hold on, bro. Don't you lift nothing else the rest of the day, you know? So, you know, it just let me know, man, that how important our health and physical fitness is, you know.
How important is it, man?
Man, it nothing else can happen without it. If you don't have your health and your physical fitness, what do you have? I mean, you can't enjoy it. You could have millions of dollars, but if you're not well, you can't even enjoy it, man. You know? So, and then as a community, obesity is killing our community, man. And we have so many opportunities to get ourselves in shape. You don't need any special equipment, just a pair of comfortable shoes. And if you can't do anything but walk, that's what you need to do, you know? Because walking is great exercise.
Hey, Black, what was some of the, how many times a day you used to work out when you was in the joint, man?
I used to do 3 sessions most of the time. There was a morning jog, and then in the afternoon there would be either a hardcore calisthenics session or a weight pile session. And then in the evening, weather permitting, I always like to walk about 3 or 4 miles, just to clear my head, hit the track, just walk. And that was my routine, 6 days a week. That's what I did.
And there was never no such thing as overtraining?
Nah, there wasn't. And then we weren't even definitely wasn't able to have optimal nutrition, nowhere near it. Optimal nutrition, and we still, you know, you get out there and you know how competitive guys could get. You remember you remember the general? Yeah, man. I'm talking about, man.
That shit, them workouts, them routines push you to the brink, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Black, what about steroids and creatine and supplements? Some of that
you had a couple of guys that used to try. Well, they didn't used to try that. They would have the creatine and the protein powder smuggled in, but even if they were doing that, they couldn't do it to the maximum level that you would need to really see the true benefits of that type of stuff. I didn't know any. I knew guys that had creatine and protein powder, but I didn't know any guys that were actually injecting steroids. Not to say that there may have been, but I didn't know any of them. But it's something you don't really need.
Right,
you know,
right.
Like I say, we didn't have access to the proper nutrition, and you would still see guys just ripped to shreds. The mass, guys would have difficulty putting on a lot of mass, but just being ripped to shreds and in shape, man, that was quite common.
Hey, Black, somebody's asking, what did a routine look like? Shout out to Aiden Miller, man. He says, what did a routine look like, one of your workouts?
Well, you know, one of the workouts I like, we used to call it the Super 100s. And you would start off with 100 straight push-ups, okay? If you couldn't get to, you would have 2 minutes to complete as many of them as you can. But the goal was 100 straight push-ups, then 100 straight flutter kicks, okay? Then 100 straight wheels. You remember the ab wheel?
Ab wheel.
Yeah, 100 straight wheels. Then 100 straight box skip, where you're skipping from one side of the box to the next one, like a box about as tall as a weight bench, and you just skipping one side to the next one. And then it was 100 ball raises, where you would have like a 12-pound ball,
right? And
you raise that over your head 100 times, and then it was 100 body squats with that ball, and after that it would be like a 3-minute break, and then you would remix it. You would do it all over again. You would do 3 sets of those.
100 push-ups.
Now, full disclosure, I never made it to the point where I could do all 3 sets, every rep, every exercise. I could go 2 iterations. I could do 2 sets of everything. And then by the third one, my push-ups would be starting to break down. Everything would start to break down. The worst of it was that damn wheel.
Yeah, 100 ab wheels is no joke, man.
Yeah, the worst of it was that wheel. And then another one that I really used to like would be, it's a CrossFit routine, 20, 30, 40, 50.
20, 30, 40, 50.
You would do 20 pull-ups, 30 push-ups, 40 crunches or sit-ups, and 50 body squats. And then there would be a 2-minute break. There would be a 2-minute break on there, and you would remix that 3 times. That was a great routine. That was a great routine there.
Yeah.
And if you, and then that old traditional one, 5, 10, 15, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 body squats, non-stop for 20 minutes. Try that one out. If you can't get 20 iterations in 20 minutes, don't call yourself in shape. You know, don't even fake like you in shape.
5, 10, 15, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, for 20 minutes, and if you can't do 20 sets in 20 minutes, you're not in shape.
No, you can't call yourself in shape if you can't get that. Can't get that. That's just the basic. That's just the basic level of fitness that a fella needs. You know, I think my record was like 27 or 28 sets of that in 20 minutes. You know, so
why do you think niggas work out like that in the joint, Black?
Because they can. Number one, you have the time, and for me, having such a long sentence, it was like, man, I'm gonna make it through this. I'm gonna fight to make it through this, and you know, one of the ways that you keep your body right is to work out. So for me, it was like, man, I'm gonna make it through this shit. You know, y'all ain't gonna kill me in here. I'm gonna make it through, and you know, so that's what spurred me to work out. Because when I was at Lexington, they have it's a hospital component to that joint, you know?
Right.
And man, so they'll send dudes there that are to the part of that joint that are sick. You know, if you get a certain level of sickness and you just in a regular joint, well, they'll send dudes there to the hospital portion of that joint.
Right.
And you would constantly, man, you know, there would be funeral postings every month in that joint, you know, a funeral service that they would have in the joint. Of course, it's just for the inmates. There's no body. It's like a memorial service, right?
Right.
But you would see guys literally in there that you had seen on the compound a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, and they're gone, you know? So, you know, you don't take your health for granted and you try to maximize your health. So, and then another advantage of it is it's a great stress reliever, you know? And then there's plenty of that in the joint. Guys stressing about various things. There's definitely plenty of that. So that's a good way to deal with your stress, keep you in shape. And, you know, it's a good thing. You know, it's some guys' first exposure to goal setting and meeting goals, you know.
Check them out, y'all.
Guys want to say, well, man, I want to be able to bench 315. And they set that as a goal, and they get to the point where they understand it's something to this goal setting, you know, and it's something to working toward a goal that's worthwhile. And in a lot of cases, it's their first exposure to that, you know.
Right.
It's their first exposure to the fact that, hey, if I set out to do something, I can do it.
If I work toward it.
Yeah, if I work toward it and, you know, and take the proper steps, I can get it done.
Now, Black, what about the mental game in the joint 17 years? You didn't, you know how we used to say a nigga he be burnt out, like the you know, he mentally he just be done lost it. He just ain't the same. How important is it to keep your mental game tight during that kind of time you did?
It's definitely super important, man. That's another problem with the joint. It is mental health, and you know, it's so stressful, and you know, it's such a sense of loss. You know, the deprivation of liberty is just wow. It's a lot you have to deal with, from you're around a lot of people who you would not otherwise be around. You know,
you're forced to be around. You're forced to be around them.
You're forced to be around them. And that goes for inmates and staff. And then one of the things that you don't consider when you first go there is that, man, you know, this 24-year-old kid that's fresh out of the military that's got him a CO job is telling you what to do. And, you know, under no circumstances would this cat be saying anything to me in the real world. There's no other occupation, there's no other station in life, no other part of life that this cat would be saying anything to me but sir. You know? And here it is, he's telling me what to do. And that's something that's hard for a lot of brothers to deal with, you know? And that causes stress and in some cases depression, in some cases anger and violence. So, you know, you got to learn how to deal with a lot, and you got to deal with a lot.
Black, what about the racial situation in there? You know, I remember like at Morgantown, you know, the TV situation, the Spanish dudes had a TV, the white dudes had a TV, the niggas had a TV. Did you see that in most of the joints?
I mean, it's going to be segregated to a certain extent on racial lines just about everywhere you go. Guys segregate themselves, you know, because it's to a certain extent. When you're in a cell with somebody, to a certain extent, you eventually get to pick and choose who you're going to be in there with. Eventually, you might not be able to pick and choose right off the bat, but eventually you will be. And then most of the guys segregate themselves along them lines because, you know, they can deal with a brother, feel like he can deal with this brother. He's closer to this brother than he is maybe someone of another race. So that definitely does happen. And then in some joints, you got the gang situation, and then in federal prison, it's more geographical. So, you know, all the guys from this area, they posse up together from this town. Guys from Newark, New Jersey, DC, and New York, you know, they gonna click up together, you know, and that's just the way it is. Now,
Kevin, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean. I got about 5 more minutes, man.
Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And I want to bring you back. You know, your story is an inspiration, and you know, I know you're gonna help a lot of people, man. You have any social media? You got Facebook or Instagram?
No, you know, I'm not really doing that, Sean. The whole social media thing, you know. I do a little something with the business, but on a personal level, nah, that social media, man, that done passed me by. The negativity is just too, wow, it's just too pronounced for me, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I hear you, man. But listen, man, I'm glad to have you, man, and you know, you got an open invitation. I want to bring you back. I want to talk about the trading, man. Maybe we do a show just exclusively on your trading, man.
Okay, well, you know, we'll have to set that up, Sean.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's do that. Hey, Black, man, I'm going to holler at you later, man. Thanks for coming through, man.
All right. Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, man. Peace out.
Love,
man. Shout out to Black, man. Hey, man. Dope story, man. This has been a dope podcast. I appreciate everybody for coming through. One of the things that I told myself, Rudolph Bell, what's up, man? Quadrex, I see you, man. One of the things I told myself was that, when I got out of prison, that I had a new box of chalk. I had a brand new box of chalk, and I had a brand new chalkboard, and that I can write on it whatever I wanted to write. I can start my story over. That what had happened to me. Yo, Brawley Gaines, what's up, man? You here? Come over to that. Click on that link, Brawley. Come on over to the podcast with Soul, man. I had told myself that everything that had happened to me in the past was gone. I had washed that blackboard with everything that had happened, that I wasn't going to let what had happened to me continue to impact my present nor my future. And I mentally told myself that I had a new box of chalk and I had a new blackboard and I can write on it whatever I wanted. And that was one of the things that helped me. Sometimes in life we got to start all over from scratch, man. You got to, you got to sometimes pick yourself up. You get knocked down. You got to pick yourself up and start all over, And, this has been a dope podcast, man.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
Nigga got that motherfucking fed look. Hey, man, shout out to everybody that's in the live chat, man. Emmanuel Jeter, I see you. Aiden Miller's been in here. Kevin Lopez, Quadrex, Jeremy Jacobs. ZZ, I see you, Jersey. Wow, man, that's my homeboy right there, man. I lived with that brother every day, man, for over a year, and learned a lot about trading from him, and learned a lot. He knows Little Sean. He knows about my whole life, my whole story. I know all about his, and he's somebody that I call a friend, definitely a true friend, and that's what we do, man. Listen, man, I don't know what else to talk about, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Anybody got any questions, anything you guys want to talk about? Shout out to Chicago, man. I really wish I could have came out there, man, but we're not going to be able to make it this time. I see y'all on the next go round. But yo, man, Sean G, Podcast with Soul. Share this link. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my Patreon channel, man. We almost at 150 patrons. I always get that mixed up. Thank you, Tito Smiles. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to shout out to everybody, man. I see y'all. Maybe we go live. I'm probably going to be doing these call-ins. I'll probably be doing these call-ins maybe one day a week or something like that. What y'all think about that, man? Maybe I'll do something like that. Because I know a lot of people, man, that's got these kind of stories, starting over, man. And, sometimes that's what we got to do. But yo, man, I'm out of here. I love all y'all. Sean G, I'm out. Peace. Yeah. Sean, what's up?
Stigmatism, man, what's up? Do anything.
Okay. What is it, man?
Stigmatism in my soul.
Okay. You got it, man?
Do anything.
Anything?
Anything.
You sure?
Put your mind to it. Do anything.
But what if it's hard, though, man?
If it's hard, it's gonna be hard. If it's easy, it's gonna be easy. It's all about what you think.
Okay, I can dig that. I love you, Sean.
Me too.
Stigmatism in my soul, man. Window cleaner with soul. You see it.